Oh, dude, you're gonna hate me this turn.
No.
Welcome back to another episode of Regional Rumble, the show where both Otarthelad and myself build teams based around a regional form of a Pokemon and make them as competitively viable as possible. We will take these teams on the in-game Pokemon ladder and grind them all the way up to Master Ball tier as quickly as we can. We will take note of where both players started, document our journeys and changes, and see how long it took for both parties to get to Master Ball tier. Followed up by one final match between Otar and myself to see whose team was better. Welcome to Regional Rumble. For this episode, we have Moltres. Similar to Zapdos, Moltres is one of the original legendary birds introduced in the first generation of Pokemon games. Moltres is a fire and flying type Pokemon. Known for its spamming of Fire Spin in Generation 1, it has... well... yeah, there's no cutting around it. Moltres has a terrible spread of stats. Decent offense on both physical and special sides, but apart from that, its speed stat leaves it too slow to rely on Tailwind, but not slow enough to abuse Trick Room. Its defenses are little to be desired as well. It's very similar to Zapdos, but has a poorer defensive typing, being weak to popular types such as Water and Electric, and being 4 times weak to Rock. Luckily, it offsets this with a resistance to Steel, Fairy, and Fighting, with an immunity to ground type attacks, all of which are popular types in VGC right now. Pokedex entries tell stories of how when Moltres flaps its wings, the night sky turns red, that it can dip into molten magma of a volcano to heal itself, that its victims become burnt out shadows of themselves. Jesus Christ! That's right, Moltres got a regional form in Pokemon Sword and Shield's DLC, the Crown Tundra. Spotted off the Isle of Armor, Moltres sneaks in as a dark and flying type Pokemon with repurposed stats, making it a specially defensive wall with a special attack stat to match it, along with the Berserk ability increasing its special attack when it takes a hit, dropping its HP to half or below the maximum value. Galarian Moltres has seen a lot of VGC tournaments since Sword and Shield, and most recently at the Toronto Regionals. Seeing that Otar got the Galarian bird last time and I had the original, it only makes sense that I lose the coin flip. Now, even though Moltres is the same typing and came from the same generation as Nintendo's golden child Charizard, Moltres' form of love was received with Galarian Moltres. So we're not off to a great start. Some positives that we can look forward to, though, are a high special attack stat of 125, it having access to the ability Flame Body, giving it a 30% chance to burn someone upon contact with Moltres. It also has a great typing for this current meta, being able to take hits from Flutter Mane, 2 forms of Ogerpon, and a great swap-in for ground-type moves, seeing that it is immune. Looking at Moltres' moveset, however, it doesn't get anything that impressive to abuse that high special stat. Heat Wave is a good spread move and all, but because you're a fire-type Pokemon, you usually don't want to run Hurricane, seeing that it doesn't miss in the rain, so you're somewhat forced to run Air Slash instead. Seeing this, however, gave me an idea. If I know that I can't kill anything reliably, then why not make it into a better Stallbon instead? Researching partner Pokemon for Moltres, a popular answer that came up was Grimmsnarl, a popular Sword and Shield prankster Pokemon that has access to Fake Out, Parting Shot, and Screams. What I was looking for, however, was a bit different. With how common physical attackers are in VGC, I wanted to abuse the move Burning Jealousy, which 100% burns a Pokemon if they have a stat increased that turn. Grimmsnarl has access to both Swagger and Flatter, which increases a Pokemon's attack or special attack respectively, while confusing them at the same time. I decided to go with Flatter so that way the burn actually did something instead of giving them a +2 in attack and then the burn just to negate it. But you can see where the plan starts to come in now. I also threw in Alolan Ninetales, which has become a popular Pokemon in Regulation E thanks to it being a fast snow setter that can also set up Aurora Veil, which is Light Screen and Reflect at the same time if snow is active, giving the entire team a giant defensive buff. It was with that core that I wanted to set up the team with. I even gave Moltres Weather Ball and an Ice-type Terra to help trade off some of its weaknesses and give it better coverage in the snow. I even gave some Pokemon a Mirror Herb to abuse the stat buff from Flatter or Swagger, depending on which way I decided to go with. But the team was too reliant on either Moltres and Grimmsnarl existing at the same time, or Moltres and Ninetales existing at the same time. So I scrapped that idea and went back to the drawing board.
So, fun fact, today is actually my birthday, and instead of birthday gifts, everyone decided to send me pictures of Galarian Moltres. Like, there's one, There's one, and that's just fucking disrespectful. Why do you have to bring my mom into this, huh? Like, but like nobody just believes in me that I can do this, and that frustrates me even more. But I'll show them. I'll show them all. Hi, yeah, this is Editor Me here. I'm about to just cut up the final battle right now, and let me just say, you know, spoilers, but it is Hi, yeah, no, this is Editor Me, you know, saving you from spoilers and increasing the video's watch time as much as possible here. So, you know, I'd consider that a double win if you ask me. Yeah, you're probably getting sick of this bit, so I'm just here to stop it. Or am I?
Going back on Moltres, I decided to take the current Heatran approach, which is to max out all of its damage output and then give it Roost for recovery, along with Substitute at first to deal with Trick Room based teams, but was later swapped out to Ancient Power for coverage use. I put 212 EVs into its HP and divided the rest into its special defense primarily, and a point into physical defense and speed. While it's not as bulky or can hit as hard as Heatran, I decided to abuse the fact that Moltres has recovery and is also not weak to a lot of threats that Heatran usually is, like ground or fighting, making Moltres a decent Heat Wave spammer that could also burn if you try to deal with it physically. Sticking with Terra Grass and a Life Orb, I felt like I did what I could with this. To pair with Moltres, I kept Alolan Ninetales as a screen setter with a light clay, but also an aggressive support Pokemon who could spam Blizzards for a chance to freeze, and Moonblast, which can drop special attack stages as well. I invested fully into its speed, giving it a timid nature, 220 EVs into its HP, 20 EVs into its physical defense, 12 into its special defense, and the last 4 into its special attack. I gave it a Terra type of Ghost so I can deal with Fake Out users and make an aggressive Aurora Veil play essentially. But Terra Water is also a good defensive option if that's not on your mind. Having this ironic pair put together, I wanted to round off the core with an Intimidate user, but also had amazing physical offensive pressure. That came in the form of... God forgive me. Landorus Theory. You need to leave! Yes, I know everyone and their mother hates this thing, but for a good reason. It's so good. Having a physical attack stat of 145, great type coverage, and access to Intimidate, this thing is a monster. I kept Landorus as the typical set that you see most people playing him as. Giving it Stomping Tantrum, Terra Blast with a Terra type of Flying, U-Turn, and Rock Slide, giving him an adamant nature. I invested fully into his speed, giving him 196 EVs into his physical attack and invested the rest into his bulk, taking off unnecessary damage that I don't need to be dealing into stats to increase my survivability. With my main core rounded out, it was time to pick other Pokemon that would fit the team. While losing Grimmsnarl made me sad, I still needed a Fake Out user to take its place. Not wanting to reuse Rillaboom for this team, I opted into Brian Hands. Now, excuse me, Iron Hands is an amazing Pokemon. It's a physical juggernaut that makes so many teams so much better. Despite its typing and stats, it's an amazing Fluttermane counter. Along with being able to duel Ogerpon and Rapid Strike Urshifu, I had to include him on the team. I gave him the moveset of Wild Charge, Drain Punch, Fake Out, and Heavy Slam, giving it the adamant nature and invested its stats as follows. 76 points into HP, 156 points into attack, 4 points into defense, 252 points into its special defense, and the last 20 points into its speed, so I can outspeed other Iron Hands in most scenarios. I also gave it an aggressive Terra type of Fire so it couldn't be threatened with burns. As aggressive and defensive my team was looking, it was lacking in recovery, so I decided to add Sinistcha to that mix, giving it instant healing opportunities on switch-ins so I can defensively tank hits and then go for the revenge kill. Along with that, Matcha Gotcha is just straight up a broken move. Combining Heat Wave and Giga Drain into one move, leaving more chances to burn, it just makes this Pokemon straight up annoying. I mean, come on, you saw the Zapdos video, right? For moves, I used Matcha Gotcha, Rage Powder, Shadow Ball, and Life Dew. I gave Sinistcha the calm nature and invested fully into Sinistcha's HP stat. Along with that, I gave it 92 points in defense, 156 points into special defense, and the rest into special attack and speed. I gave it the Rocky Helmet to punish physical hitters, and gave it a Terra type of Electric because, honestly, I didn't know what to give it. I just remember that one battle, you know, from that one video that you watched. Defiance and competitive Pokemon have been amazing counters to Intimidate and other stat drop users, as these abilities let a Pokemon increase their attack or special attack by 2 stages if any of their stats are dropped by another Pokemon. And let me just say, having a very bulky Pokemon who just doubled their attack stat at the same time is a dangerous combo. Milotic is also amazing for being a solo water type Pokemon, which is arguably one of the best defensive types in the game. I gave Milotic Icy Wind, Scald, Recover, and Haze. You can sub out Haze for Protect, but Milotic was never meant to be dealing damage in the first place, more of to punish Intimidate and other stat drop users like Icy Wind and Bleak Wind Storms. So sacrificing your newly +2 special attack stats to reset something like Dondozo, Snorlax, or Komodo is always worth it. I gave mine a Citrus Berry to hold and gave it 172 EVs in HP and defense, while giving it 76 points into special attack, 84 points into speed, and the rest into special defense. Milotic also has the Terra type of Dragon, covering offensive threats like electric or grass type attacks. Amazing leads that you can use for this team include Iron Hands and Ninetales. Since Fake Out is such a powerful option, you can set up Aurora Veil a lot more safely. Another good option is Milotic and Landorus or Iron Hands. Since you threaten and intimidate users because of Defiant, you can safely bring in your physical attackers and punish your opponent if they lead Intimidate. Finally, Moltres and Ninetales or Landorus are also amazing as you defensively set up one of your big damage dealers on your team. And that's the team. You can just take my word for it, right? Like, we don't have to play these games. Fine, if you insist. But it's not gonna be easy. Holy shit! My opponent leads with Tatsugiri and Cramorant, while I lead with Milotic and Landorus. Lando's Intimidate procs, lowering both special attackers' physical stats. Luckily, Cramorant had a white herb on it, which procs since a stat was lowered, essentially wasting its item. We start the battle with a Rock Slide from Landorus. Tatsugiri dodges it, but Cramorant tanks the shot, letting it get off a Revenge Surf. Tatsugiri, surprisingly enough, had the Storm Drain ability instead of the usual Commander set, giving it a +1 in its special attack and dodging its partner's attack, while Cramorant hits my field and prepares a Gulp Missile. Tatsugiri follows up with a Muddy Water, knocking out Landorus and dropping Milotic's accuracy, proccing competitive at the same time. Milotic uses Icy Wind, confirming the kill on Cramorant and lowering Tatsugiri's speed, but this procs Gulp Missile, paralyzing Milotic and making me use my Citrus Berry instead. With both sides at 3 Pokemon each, my opponent brings in his Landorus while I bring in Ninetales. Now, let me be clear. I don't like being paralyzed. You know, I don't think anybody does, personally. But my Milotic is currently +4 in its special attack because of competitive. Knowing I want to go on the offensive with my Milotic, my opponent terrestrializes his Landorus to a water type and proceeds to use Rock Slide on me. Luckily, I protected with Ninetales, and Milotic takes the hit quite well, and also avoids Tatsugiri's Draco Meteor. Milotic uses Icy Wind, in which Tatsugiri also avoids, and Landorus takes minimal damage with its new water typing. Assuming that his Landorus was scarfed, I terrestrialized Ninetales so I can safely tank another Rock Slide. Surprisingly, he wasn't. I Moonblast into Tatsugiri, who barely lives the hit, and Landorus uses Stomping Tantrum into Milotic, who also barely lives. Tatsugiri goes for another Draco Meteor. And I get a Recover off on Milotic. Now knowing that he isn't Scarfed, I use Aurora Veil to boost my defenses, while Lando goes for U-turn into Milotic, swapping into Dondozo. However, like I mentioned earlier, since Tatsugiri has Storm Drain instead of Commander, the two play as separate Pokemon instead of as one. Tatsugiri gets another Muddy Water off, dropping Milotic's accuracy again and boosting my special attack, making me currently +6 with— holy shit! Ninetales uses Blizzard, trying to go for a freeze chance, taking out Tatsugiri in the process, and Milotic uses Icy Wind. Dondozo wave crashes into me, doing minimal damage. He brings out his beaten Landorus as his final Pokemon. Ninetales goes for a Blizzard again, this time getting the freeze on Dondozo, and Landorus takes out Milotic with Stomping Tantrum. I bring out my final Pokemon, Moltres. I attempt to double into Landorus as I Moonblast with Ninetales. Seeing that he's clearly Assault Vested at this point, I was a little worried, but the fight was practically a 2v1 at the moment. Lando Rock Slides in retaliation, hitting both of my Pokemon, but thanks to Aurora Veil, Moltres lives the 4 times effective move. Moltres uses Air Slash, putting Landorus into kill range for the next turn. Ninetales Moonblasts, knocking out Landorus completely, and we Air Slash Dondozo, making sure to avoid pressing Heat Wave so we don't thaw him out and quite literally burn our lead. With Dondozo stuck in the ice, I whittle him down till he fainted, giving me the game. My opponent leads with Okidogi and Grimmsnarl, while I lead with Iron Hands and Milotic. I fake out Okidogi, blocking a potential Bulk Up, while Grimmsnarl sets up Reflect. For those saying, why didn't you fake out the Grimmsnarl? Wow. Milotic gets an Icy Wind off, lowering both of my opponent's speed stats. On the next turn, Grimmsnarl sets up Light Screen and I get another Icy Wind off. However, Grimmsnarl does dodge the move. Okidogi goes for a Bulk Up, and Iron Hands lands the Heavy Slam into Grimmsnarl, putting it into kill range. Knowing that I can't knock out Okidogi for a while, I plan to disrupt as much as I can. Milotic uses Scald into Okidogi and surprisingly gets the burn, effectively negating its leftovers and its extra Bulk Up attack. Iron Hands lands the last Heavy Slam into Grimmsnarl, picking up the kill. My opponent sends out Ogerpon as its replacement. Worrying about how much damage Ogerpon can do when terastallized into Iron Hands, I terastallize defensively, prepping for the devastating Ivy Cudgel heading my way. Yep, nope, there's a water type on the field being a menace to fucking society. My bad. Hornleech procs my Citrus Berry, and Milotic Icy Winds once again, lowering everyone's speed. Iron Hands Drain Punches Ogerpon, and Okidogi goes for Bulk Up again. Realizing my options are limited if I want to save Milotic, I swap into Moltres to let it tank the 4 times resisted Hornleech, while Iron Hands once again Drain Punches into Ogerpon, and Okidogi finally attacks Iron Hands with Drain Punch, doing damage. Seeing that Okidogi is threatened with my Moltres' Air Slash, it terastallizes into a Dragon type. Ogerpon goes for Spiky Shield, expecting me to take it out with a final Drain Punch. He was right. And Moltres lands a flinch onto Okidogi with Air Slash. Okidogi takes the next turn to protect, while Moltres Air Slashes into it. Ogerpon stomping tantrums into Iron Hands, almost knocking me out, but we hung on with just enough HP to kill it with a Drain Punch for the next turn. Making it 4 Pokemon to 2, my opponent's final Pokemon turned out to be Arcanine, hitting both of my Pokemon with Intimidate. Now, what would you do with 2 Pokemon, both injured and weak to a Rock-type based move do in this situation? If you said, let them die, you'd be correct. But if you know someone like this, you should probably call them a Psyche Val, because I'm a little worried for you. I replaced the 2 Pokemon with Landorus and Milotic, intimidating Arcanine but activating Guard Dog, maxing out Okidogi's attack stat. While he is burned, have you ever fought a dog on fire before? I still don't like this. Knowing that I have total speed control over his Pokemon, I Rock Slide with Landorus, trying to grab any flinches and do respectable damage to both Pokemon. Arcanine goes for a Rock Slide in retaliation, but misses Milotic and does very minimal damage to Landorus. Milotic pulls off my trump card for this fight, Haze. Unfortunately, it does reset Arcanine's attack stat to normal. However, now that Okidogi was like +4 in defense and attack, it's literally useless now as he Drain Punches into Milotic and we tank that hit. Unfortunately, it is hard to abuse this advantage when extreme speed exists. After my Milotic dies, I get the revenge kill with Rock Slide while Okidogi protected this turn. Being a choiced Landorus with literally no other Pokemon, I've thought long and hard of what I was going to do this turn. You know. Just throw some rocks. After I got my scarf ripped away by the doggo, not realizing he just confirmed his death, I Stomping Tantrum and retort, knocking out the doggy, securing me the win. My opponent leads with Tornadus and Rillaboom while I lead with Iron Hands and Landorus. After proccing Intimidate and Grassy Surge, Rillaboom fakes out my Landorus while Tornadus goes for Bleak Wind Storm. Normally here, Tailwind is the best option, but seeing that his team outspeeds mine naturally for the most part, it seemed pointless. So instead of wasting time, I give up my fake out to Wild Charge Tornadus turn 1 instead, getting rid of his support Pokemon on the field. This means potential Rain Dance and Tailwind uses are now gone, pushing the fight into my favor. My opponent brings in Urshifu, and the stream music that comes up here is just too perfect, so I'm gonna just let this one play itself out. Thank you. Here we just do that, and then after, because we're faster. Sorry. Rillaboom's -1. If he's sashed, then we do this. Oh my goodness, he Terras. So he's probably Terra Dark. He Terra the Grookey? The Rillaboom? Whatever, it's fine. That's a really odd, no, it's a good Terra type, but like it's a really odd time to do it. We have the same idea. Bastard! Wait, we had the same idea. After swapping in Moltres, Iron Hands tanks a Stomping Tantrum and Drain Punch doesn't land on Fluttermane. I swap Moltres into Sinistcha and prepare to Terastallize Iron Hands into a Fire type here. Seeing that I've already taken damage and that Fluttermane is more likely to try to kill Iron Hands in this scenario, Sinistcha gives me a necessary health boost, and Terra Fire here lets me absorb any Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast that the Fluttermane would attempt to throw at me. Reading the play correctly, I tank the Dazzling Gleam, and in return, I Heavy Slam Fluttermane, securing another kill. Rillaboom responds with a Brick Break, surprisingly enough, and I'm questioning if this is still Ultra Ball tier or not. My opponent swaps back into Urshifu. I swap Sinistcha back into Landorus, landing another Intimidate and predicting that he was gunning for Sinistcha with Wicked Blow. While Intimidate does nothing in regards to crits, it does, however, cut down the damage that Rillaboom does immensely once again. Iron Hands Drain Punches into Urshifu, leaving him with minimal HP and surprisingly not sashed. I've never felt more ashamed in my life. My opponent doubles into Iron Hands, confirming the kill, while Moltres Heat Waves into both of them, knocking out Urshifu in return. I send in Sinistcha, topping up Moltres, and they Ancient Power plus Shadow Ball into Rillaboom, securing me the win. My opponent leads with Ogerpon and Tornadus while I send out Moltres and Iron Hands. Ogerpon goes for Spiky Shield and Tornadus goes for Bleak Wind Storm, but my Moltres dodges it. Air Slash gets blocked by Spiky Shield, and instead of wasting time, I give up my Fake Out to Wild Charge Tornadus turn 1, getting rid of a support Pokemon on the field. This means potential Rain Dance and Tailwind uses are now gone. Wait. My opponent sends in Annihilate. Both of us Terastallize our Ogerpon and Iron Hands into Fire types, with him trying to go for a kill and me trying to defend as much as possible. Annihilate sets up Protect, and Iron Hands lives in Ivy Cudgel with 4 HP remaining. Once again, Air Slash from Moltres does nothing as it hits the protected Annihilate, and Drain Punch goes through on Ogerpon. Assuming that it would be a free kill onto Annihilate here, I set my sights onto Air Slashing it again, only for it to be swapped out into Sinistcha. Ogerpon is healed almost to full and kills my Iron Hands. At this point, I think, great, now I can safely bring in my Landorus without having to deal with Defiant. Okay, this is okay. I find this a fair trade, at least for now. He doesn't outspeed Lando, so at least like we have like a safe, we can safely bring in Lando now. Unless that, oh right, yeah, I forgot about that. My opponent brings back Annihilate, while I decide to bite the Defiant Bullet and bring in my Landorus. I decide to lock in my Landorus into Rock Slide, hoping to spam flinches onto my enemy regardless of how much damage we do to Annihilate. Ivy Cudgel almost takes out Landorus. Air Slash leaves Annihilate with practically 1 HP. I send in my final Pokemon, Milotic, and while my opponent goes for the Durock Special,
keep my motherfucking name out your motherfucking mouth!
Luckily enough, I had Milotic use Haze this turn, mitigating the Defiant stat buff that he received from before. Out of desperation, Ogerpon goes for Spiky Shield again, and it fails, letting Landorus pick up the kill. But because of passive leftovers regen, Annihilate still lives. Luckily, Icy Wind from Milotic takes it out, securing me the victory. All in all, this team went 25 wins and 12 losses, a substantial difference in comparison to the Zapdos team. I'm not gonna lie, not having access to consistent Hurricanes sucks, and having a Pokemon with such random stats does not help it out either. I think it goes to show having a strong core can make any Pokemon shine through. Maybe I was tunneled playing Moltres as a special attacker instead of trying to use its physical attack stats instead. It does get access to moves like U-Turn and Brave Bird. Maybe there's something that I missed. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear other ideas how to improve base Moltres. If you like what you saw and haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button. These videos, while fun to make, take forever to write, shoot, and edit. It would mean a lot if you could show your support. Also, on screen right now is the rental code if you would like to try this team out for yourself. Along with that, here is the team's EVs, natures, and movesets. Now, with that out of the way, the teams are set. Let's get ready for another Regional Rumble. Now, it would be kind of funny if instead of the Moltres team, I brought in the Zapdos team instead.
That would not be fair.
All right, Scizor and Rillaboom. Oh, baby. Darn.
Milo.
Bilo. Hilo. No, you slut. Ain't that a pickle? Okay. Moltres versus Moltres. Okay. Not okay. Okay. Wait, you just left Scizor like that?
What do you mean?
Oh, buddy. This is a rude awakening for you.
Scizor!
Your Moltres has gone berserk.
Why don't you enjoy a cup of calming jasmine tea?
I love this for me. I think we just do this. We do that, pick a god, and pray.
Uh-oh.
I gots to. I don't trust yas. Oh, dude, you're gonna hate me this turn.
No. I should have seen it coming.
You know what? At least your berserk stayed intact. Cool, cool. Wow, that's a nice fake out. Does that hit everybody? Good to know.
Yeah. All right. Dang, that haze really caught me off guard. That's good stuff.
I wasn't expecting you to nasty plot there. I thought you were just gonna go straight for your damage with berserk.
Yeah, makes sense. Ooh. Good to know.
Oh my god, I won one. Dude, that didn't happen the last video.
Did you lead Ninetales?
How'd you know?
Tell me the truth.
How did
Aw,
you wait? How did you fucking know?
What do you mean? How did I know?
There's no way you
streaming.
fucking knew. I'm not
You're streaming.
Shut the fuck up. I forget how fast Galarian Moltres is. It's like, is it 100 or is it still 90?
100.
100, eh? Okay. Good to know, good to know. And you got some bulky mons. Now I do too.
You've been having Pokemons. How you mean? Everlight flinched.
Oh!
Whiskers flinched.
Ooh, the Terrastal-Lazzle.
Terrastal-Lazzle, yes, that's it.
The Terrastal Razzle Dazzle. What Terra type is it? It's a. Ooh, you made yours a Steel type. Very interesting choice here.
And with that terrestrialization, I'm going to steal this game.
Please get another flinch. Please get another flinch. Please get another flinch. Or, please land the freeze. Please land the freeze. Please land the freeze.
No.
Stop. There's no way.
Well, you see here.
Wow.
You've fallen into my trap. This is all part of my plan. What you don't understand is how far ahead I am.
Bro, I am very curious to see how far ahead you are right now, because I am so behind of what's happening. Wow. I am so far behind with what's happening right now. Wow, I'm so far behind!
You stand no chance, sir.
See, I'm assuming you faked out my Milotic? Yeah. I had to take the L on that one? Please.
Yeah, understood.
Okay. But I think I'm still pretty... Yeah. I'm still very pretty.
Whoa. What are we seeing here? Landorozu?
Maybe. Oh, Nor. I didn't press the funny button. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to my Milotic, aren't I? Oh, no, okay, sick. Ooh, good swap.
Please. Please.
Very good swap. Very, 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 very good swap here, actually. That was... No, what I will say was that, like, that was actually, like, a very smart swap. Just to, like, really, really bolster up your Moltres' defenses. I don't know how much it's gonna do. Oh,
No.
I feel bad. I wasn't able to nickname my Mons like the last video. Because, like, Moltres was stuck to the name that it was given. So I was just like, ah. Oh, please get it. Yeah! That is too fucking good. Wait, that's not good. Oh, how much speed did I drop your whole team by? Stop cooking. Stop cooking. Get out of the kitchen, bro.
Yup. Alright. That's game. Okay. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Unless I land like 4 crits. I'm not sure if there's a way to come back from this. We'll see though.
I believe. Yo, if the game literally gave me everything, I believe it can give you everything back as well. What if? Let's just see, what if? Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
I love this for me. That's not good. That's gonna hurt. Ugh. You see that heavy slam? Yeah, boy.
You have recover?
You like that, don't you? It's a good thing I love me Ninetales. Oh, please let me have read you like a book. Like a book.
Wow. Moltres took 0 damage.
I guess 2.5, whatever.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Okay. You're gonna regret this decision. I hope you do realize this.
Oh, I'm aware. Single target heat wave. Let's see it.
Show me the money. Yabba. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So that's it. 2-0'd.
Wow. Nice. Good for me.
Well played. Well played.
Thank you. You as well, good sir.
Holy though, that game had hacks like crazy. But,
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Double flinch at the beginning was kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie.
I would call it a quad flinch.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. If you want a different perspective from Galarian Moltres' point of view, watch out for Otar's video for when he uploads it. We have Articuno planned for the next video, but please drop a comment of who you would like to see us use for next time. See ya!